All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This one taken from the 7. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he takes this up right near the 40. Five-yard line. To throw on 2nd down is Newton. Underneath for Johnson. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
And now with a play clock winding down, a whistle and possibly a false start. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Out of the gun, Newton. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Cam's going to run the option right. On second down, Johnson. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 3rd and 10 now. A shotgun snap for Newton. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. The Browns' passing game finding its stride. They've got another first down. From the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10. A first down carry here for Johnson. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They fake the give. Newton. Man open. That's Calvin Ridley. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
They'll run it now out of the gun. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
On second down, here's Newton. Fighting to stay upright. This will be caught just inside the 10. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. Play number 9 now on this pretty long opening drive. But this is third down. On the ground, this is Johnson. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. David Johnson, touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Browns have taken the early lead. Gonzalez good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And they'll run it here. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. The tackle there by LaMarcus Joyner.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. Now a handoff looking right. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. An ideal start defensively. They already have the touchdown. Now they get the stop.
Just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. Does that sound dated? Right? It might have had a touch a little bit.
It's all right.
All right, grease board, heck, computer, exactly what you want, though. Score on your first drive, stop them on the first drive defensively.
Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory.
Come on now.
From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. And a return across midfield and to the 46-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
After the interception, here's Watson. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
Richmond. Come back. Black got it out, Billy.
Here's a carry for a former starter. This is Lamar Miller. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Denzel Ward, the number 4 pick in the 2018 draft, making the tackle from his corner spot. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime. From the gun, here's Watson. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. It'll be a pickup of 16, but they'll remain short of the marker, and it's 4th down. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
What part did they went empty set there? No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Is that not the very definition of a tough yard gain?
Now, is that one where as the receiver you go to your quarterback and say, why'd you even throw that?
Yeah, I think you do, and I think you wonder what type of a route are you going to send me on that only 1 yard's going to be the result? If I'm going to go in there and take contact, let's go and get something out of it, not just 1 yard.
Got a man open. It's Fuller for the Texans touchdown. Will Fuller, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans are in for 6. And his kick is good. Pinheiro now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now the Browns coming out on the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over. The other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. It's caught inside the 25. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Now a 1st down throw for Newton. This is caught. Gronkowski. The Browns passing game finding its stride. They've got another 1st down.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Newton to throw. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Rob Gronkowski, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Browns are able to cash in for 6. And he's such a talented tight end, just creates nightmarish-type matchups on the other side.
He's so good that when we say tight end, we're almost damning him with faint praise, aren't we? Because he can do it all. He's as good as any receiver in the NFL.
Well, that's the deal. He's a wide receiver, just in a bigger body.
Bigger body, a matchup nightmare, and who's going to cover him? When I sit in the film session, I just look at the coach and say, really? Really? You're going to yell at me? You go cover him.
And now out comes Houston. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders. That
guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid game. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On second down, here's Watson. He's going to air one out. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Kiki QT, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Texans are able to show off their quick strike ability. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now 17-14. Pinheiro now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns offense heading back out to take possession. And, Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match than a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
Now Newton on first down. And he rifles one incomplete. Unable to get it to Gronkowski that time. And that'll bring up second down. Just his second incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, second and 10. On second and 10, Newton. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Gronkowski the intended target. And that'll make it third down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Throwing on third down, Newton. Oh, he almost had the rare interception. The big fella couldn't hang on, though. Incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
On second down, here's Miller. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Come back, come back. Check four. Tiger.
Now a first down throw. Watson throwing the out route incomplete. That's Wheeler. And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Watson in the offense going to come up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. To throw is Watson. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Wheeler. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, but what a nice job improvising, finding other options, and completing the pass anyway.
Tiger.
From the red zone now, Watson. And he takes a shot on the release, as this will be incomplete. He was looking to get it to his running back, Lamar Miller, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck roll that they can fall back on anymore.
Come back. Richmond.
Back to the air, Watson on 2nd down, eluding the pressure right. Underneath for Miller. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Make it 4th down after a loss of 1. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is indeed good. And they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now. So they get the 3, increase their lead to close out the half.
Excellent way to end a drive, going to the locker room with a little bit of extra momentum after adding 3 to their total.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. They begin the drive with Johnson. And he's going to be taken down here, as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we've come upon halftime here in Houston, and it's the home team, the Texans, leading this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. first down, it's Watson. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it second down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Richmond. Come back.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll be 3rd down.
Reset. Come back.
Watson just beating the play clock. He's got him in. Complete. Will Fuller. Nobody there to stop him. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go.
Richmond. Tiger. Come back.
A shotgun snap for Watson. Escaping the pressure right. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. Tried to roll out and make a play outside of the pocket, but couldn't get it done.
When you don't have a lot of space for your receivers to operate, and down there it's really condensed when you're snapping the ball from the 2-yard line, rolling out, you extend a play, but you don't necessarily open up better avenues for people. And on that play, there's just nowhere to go with the ball, and you end up getting sacked.
Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the 3rd quarter. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back from the offense, and
Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
On the ball. Do something.
Now they'll run it on the toss. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
20.
On 1st down, Newton. He's going to waft one deep left side here. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Calvin Ridley with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Browns are back within a score.
Boy, that route is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slant.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard that a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start to move initially inside if you're a receiver.
And now out comes Houston. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Out of the gun, Watson. Caught left side, Hopkins. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Come back, come back. Tiger, tiger, tiger.
To throw on 2nd is Watson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Houston. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game, and the Texans will add on to their lead.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
This one fielded at the 5. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's airing it out for Williams. And that's caught inside the 35. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. They give him a gain of 38. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily.
And he lost the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Two jet. Richmond. Tiger.
A run by Foreman to start the drive. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
All right, it's football 101 to know that the quarterback controls just about everything on offense, but a lot of times what gets missed is that the center controls line play. He has to communicate to the guards and the tackles what type of front they're facing, how they're going to block it, and what adjustments need to be made sometimes on the fly as a defense will shift. Give the center a lot of credit because for the most part, he's got big defensive linemen over his face all game long that he's got to try and block and protect his quarterback and create space for his runner.
Black 99
In this case, he did a really nice job of communicating and executing.
And some room to maneuver. And out across midfield down to the 45. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Read the line. Read the line. Come back, come back. Come back, come back.
On first down, Watson. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Fuller. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. It's another touchdown pass for Deshaun Watson, his 5th of the afternoon. And the Texans capitalize on the fumble and turn it into 6. Pinheiro now to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Looking for Gronkowski, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Gronkowski, the intended receiver.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing, but I'll guarantee you, it's not very good.
They go play action here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, look, credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
On 2nd and 10, Watson going deep for Hopkins. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Texans turn that interception into a touchdown. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get off on the snap. Jump too quickly.
Extra point forthcoming. Extra point splits the uprights, and that will bump the lead up to 26. Pinheiro now to kick this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And look at this. Cam Newton intercepted a 3rd time. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
It's just been one mistake after another on the offensive side of the ball. That's now 3 interceptions to go along with 2 fumbles for him. And if you're going to turn the ball over 5 times in a game, your chances to win have to be about 100 to 1. And it's not looking good for him here.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. The drive starts with Foreman on the ground. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Back now in Houston. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And on the ground they go with a running back. And a loose football. And I think the Browns got it. They did.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. A shotgun snap for Newton. Trying to lay one up deep. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Calvin Ridley with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the forced fumble defensively leads to 6 points for the Browns. Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT, and that will get him one closer. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. I'm sure the message as they come out onto the field was, hey, take care of the football, because the fumble last possession led to a touchdown. Still a 3-score game, though.
You don't want things to start to snowball. You know, one error leads to another, which leads to another. And then all of a sudden you're fighting for your life down the stretch instead of finishing the game in style, which is what they're trying to do on this drive.
That would be a pretty amazing comeback, but we've seen crazier things happen in the National Football League.
We certainly have.
Tiger, tiger, tiger. Tiger, tiger, tiger. Come back, come back. Check, check. Presto, presto, presto. Tiger, tiger, tiger.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
But Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. And some space here. And he's in. Touchdown, Lamar Miller, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Texans will extend their lead. Point after, right down the middle, and that will bump the lead up to 26. Pinheiro now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Browns offense trotting back onto the field, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. That often runs you into a penalty.
Out of the gun, Newton. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Big yardage there for the Browns, 18. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. They pitch it out to Johnson. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
On 2nd down, here's Newton. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the 34. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Richmond.
Again, it's Foreman. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Watson hands this to Foreman. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And the Browns getting set to go. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. They'll throw again from their own end zone. He sets to fire deep. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. From the end zone, Newton. And fights through one man. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Well, that wasn't a completion, but it wasn't a sack either. So the good takeaway, able to extend the life of the play. Normally you would think he'd just take off and run downfield, but he was trying to find an open receiver, unable to do so.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Gun. Hey. Do something. Hey.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Got a man. It's complete. Williams. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Newton on first down. Flushed out right. And incomplete on the deep ball. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Back to the air, Newton on 2nd down. Cam fighting, he lost the football, it's out, and the Texans scoop it, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes, but it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. They'll run with Foreman. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this.
Hey, blue 80. Black 99 Philly.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. He'll go on the ground, and they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. Kick is good. And that will push the lead up from 26, and it grows up to 29. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th. And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it? After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride? Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward. Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Here's Newton. And now here's another interception. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, and he will return this one to the 30-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one. And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm. Down to a